In the early hours of April 15, 1912, the RMS Titanic, a ship deemed unsinkable, sank into the icy waters of the North Atlantic. More than 1,500 lives were lost in what remains one of history's deadliest maritime disasters. But was the Titanic's fate inevitable? Or could it have been prevented? Let's go back to the beginning. The Titanic was the largest and most luxurious ship of its time, designed to showcase both wealth and innovation. Constructed with 16 watertight compartments, the ship was believed to be able to stay afloat even if 4 compartments flooded. However, on its maiden voyage, it was carrying some tragic design flaws that few could have predicted. On April 10, 1912, the Titanic set sail from Southampton, England, bound for New York City. On board were over 2,200 passengers, including some of the wealthiest people in the world. For many, the journey represented luxury, opportunity, and adventure. But just 4 days into the voyage, tragedy struck. As the Titanic traveled through the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, it received multiple warnings of icebergs in the area. In fact, there were at least 6 different messages, but many were either ignored or dismissed by the crew. Why? Some historians believe the ship was moving at near maximum speed to set a new transatlantic crossing record. At around 11:40 p.m., an iceberg was spotted directly in the ship's path. Despite the crew's quick reaction to turn the ship, the Titanic struck the iceberg along its starboard side. The impact caused the hull to buckle, tearing open 5 compartments instead of the safe 4. It was a fatal blow. As water poured into the compartments, a chain reaction began. The Titanic's bow slowly filled with water, pulling the ship down into the sea. The crew, realizing the severity of the situation, issued distress signals and began loading lifeboats. But here's where another critical issue arose. The Titanic only had 20 lifeboats, enough for just over half of the passengers and crew on board. To make matters worse, some lifeboats were launched only partially filled due to panic and confusion. At 2:20 a.m., less than 3 hours after the collision, the Titanic broke apart and disappeared beneath the waves. It would take another 2 hours before the Carpathia, a nearby ship, arrived to rescue the survivors. In the end, over 1,500 people perished. Today, the Titanic lies at the bottom of the Atlantic, a haunting reminder of both human ambition and hubris. So, what really went wrong? Experts point to multiple factors: the Titanic's design flaws, the lack of adequate lifeboats, the miscommunication about ice warnings, and the decision to travel at high speed. Each factor alone may not have doomed the ship, but together they created a perfect storm. The sinking of the Titanic led to major changes in maritime laws, including increased lifeboat requirements and the establishment of the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs. Over a century later, the story of the Titanic continues to capture our imagination, reminding us of both the power and the fragility of human endeavor.